Yeah, we in the cut where I give you straight facts. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more content. Let's get it.
Regardless of which way you use, make sure you come to all your court dates or you will be rearrested. I'm gonna call your names. I'm gonna tell you what you're charged with and your bond amount. I'm gonna ask you whether you want a court-appointed attorney or whether you want to hire your own lawyer. If you have any questions, once I talk to you, you can go ahead and ask me. I'll do my best to answer your questions. If you want to know the punishment range of the charge that you're facing, just ask me and I'll tell you. Jennifer Wilson?
Oh, Stacey down.
Ms. Wilson, you're charged with a Class B misdemeanor failure to identify yourself, given a false name. Your bond amount set at $1,000. However, I am going to do a personal bond in your case. You're going to be released today for free. You need to make sure you show up for all your court dates. Do you want a court-appointed attorney or do you want to hire your own lawyer? Court-appointed? Do you have any questions? All right, good luck. Joanna Phillips? Ms. Phillips, you're charged with a third-degree felony tampering with evidence. Your bond amount is set at $6,500. You're not going to get a personal bond. You're going to need to go through a bail bondsman or lawyer to get out. Bail bondsman, if they're willing to do it for 10%, would be around $650. You'll have an opportunity to use a phone a little bit to try to get a hold of friends or family and try to bond out. Do you want a court-appointed attorney or do you want to hire your own lawyer? You want a free attorney or do you want to hire your own attorney?
Court appointed.
Do you have any questions?
Yes, what was I tampering with?
The allegations are that you hit a pistol that was involved in an incident. It had to do with an assault incident of beating up somebody on the ground. And the allegations are that you had a pistol and that you hit it in the back, in the passenger compartment of a car where some juveniles were. I don't want you to comment upon that. I know you have your side of the story. You need to talk to your lawyer about your side of the story, okay? You certainly have the right to fight your case, but that's what the allegations are. You're asking me what this is all about, and that's what it is. Now, when you talk to your lawyer, he'll get a copy of the police report, all witness statements. There's video evidence involved in this case, and you'll be able to get a copy of all of that, review it with your lawyer, give him your side of the story, and you certainly have the right to fight your case. Just make sure you show up for court, okay? All right. All right, good luck. Anna Maria Flores. Ms. Flores, you're charged with a second-degree felony robbery charge. Your bond amount set at $6,000. You're not going to get a personal bond. You're going to need to go through a bail bondsman or a lawyer to get out of jail. Bail bondsman, if they're willing to do it for 10%, would be around $600. You'll have an opportunity to use the phone when you get back to your cell. If you do postpone, you have two conditions you need to comply with, Ms. Flores. Number one, you're required to stay away from the CVS store at 2213 Airport Boulevard. You can't go back to that store. Do you understand that? You understand that? All right. Second of all, you're required to report to a supervision officer while your case is pending. So if you do postpone and get out of jail, when you get out, you'll have a piece of paper with the name and number of a person that you need to contact within 24 hours of your release from jail. You need to call them and set up an appointment, and then you need to report into them whenever they require. Sometimes they may have you just call in. Other times they may have you actually report in person. You just need to follow their directions. You understand that? All right. Do you want a court-appointed attorney or do you want to hire your own lawyer? Do you have any questions? All right, good luck. Mariana Flores?
Not here.
She's not here. Ashley Fisher? Fisher, you're charged with a third-degree felony evading arrest or detention. Your bond amount set at $10,000. Got a couple of questions for you. We don't have any references for you. Do you have friends or family that live here in the Austin area?
I have some friends.
You have some friends?
Grandma.
Your grandmother lives here in Austin? What's her phone number?
I don't know. I don't have my phone.
It's hidden. It's in your cell phone.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anybody whose number you do know, friends or?
No, that I have top of my head. No, sir.
How long have you lived in Austin?
4.5 years.
4.5? Are you working?
Yes, sir.
Is that at the animal health clinic? And you have your grandmother here? That's your only family here?
Yes, sir.
Where's the rest of your family?
I have a mom in El Paso and in Cleveland, Ohio. So the rest of
And I believe this is your first arrest. Have you ever been arrested before?
No, sir.
I'm going to give you a personal bond, Ms. Fisher. You need to make sure you show up for all of your court dates. You understand that? When you get out of jail, you'll have a piece of paper telling you when your first court date will be. It'll be in the next few weeks. And you need to show up for that and all your court dates after that until this case is resolved. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you want a court-appointed attorney or do you want to hire your own lawyer?
I'll hire.
You're going to hire your own? All right, any questions?
No, sir.
Osvaldo Galvan. Mr. Galvan, you're charged with a Class B misdemeanor driving while intoxicated. Your bond amount set at $2,000. Mr. Galvan, I have a few questions for you. Who do you live with? With your mom? Do you have her phone number? Because we don't have a number for her. We have her name, but not her number. Yeah? You got the mic there? I can't hear.
512-803-2512.
2512?
Yeah.
Okay. 803-2512, correct? All right, apparently we must have the wrong number because we had a different number when we called and it wasn't in service. And you live with her. You're still in high school, is that correct?
Yeah.
And you're already out on bond on some cases in Williamson County, is that right?
Yeah.
You've been showing up for court when you're supposed to on that?
They haven't called me yet for the date.
They haven't what?
They haven't called me yet for the date.
They're not gonna call you. It's your
No,
responsibility.
I called them, but they told me that they're gonna give me a date.
Okay, you just need to make sure that you keep
Yeah.
calling them. A good way to get arrested is to sit at home and wait for the court to call you and tell you when to be there. That's a tip for you for the future, okay? You need to be contacting them periodically. It's your obligation to make sure you know when your court dates are, okay? And don't wait for them to find you, okay? But you've been contacting them.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Galvan, I'm gonna have my staff contact your mom, and once we contact her, then based upon the feedback we get, then I'll be willing to consider a personal bond in your case. You need to make sure you show up for all of your court dates.
All right.
Do you want a court-appointed attorney or do you want to hire your own lawyer?
Request my attorney.
Huh?
Get my own attorney, like.
You gonna hire your own lawyer?
No, the other one.
You want a court-appointed lawyer?
Yeah.
Any questions?
No.
All right, good luck. Brad Jackson. You're charged with a second-degree felony possession of controlled substance. Your bond amount $7,500. However, I am going to do a personal bond in your case. You're going to be released today for free. You need to make sure you show up for all your court dates. Now, Mr. Jackson, you have a couple of conditions you need to comply with besides showing up for court. First of all, you're required to be screened for the drug court program. That's a rehab program that if you were to complete it, it would result in dismissal of the felony drug charge. You're not required to do that program. It's very intensive. It requires a lot of commitment to stay clean, but you are required at least to be screened for it to see if it's an option for you. You understand that? Second of all, whether or not you do the rehab program, you are required to be screened for some type of drug counseling. You'll have a piece of paper telling you where to do the screening. You need to go to whatever classes or group meetings they require while your case is pending. Clear? Besides that, you need to show up for all your court dates. You want a court-appointed attorney or do you want to hire your own lawyer?
Court-appointed.
Court-appointed? Do you have any questions?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Good luck. Kevin Pham. Mr. Pham, you're charged with a Class A misdemeanor for violation of a bond condition or a protective order. Your bond amount set at $6,500. You're not going to get a personal bond. You need to go through a bail bondsman or a lawyer to get out. Bail bondsman, if they're willing to do it for 10%, be around $650. You'll have an opportunity to use a phone in a little bit. Do you want a court-appointed attorney or do you want to hire your own lawyer?
Oh,
Hire your own lawyer? You can hire your own? Okay. Do you have any questions?
oh,
No? Good luck. Jonathan Ramirez.
sir.
Mr. Ramirez, you're charged with a third-degree felony evading arrest in a motor vehicle. It's actually listed as a state jail felony. That's actually a mistake. It should be a third-degree felony. So when it does get to court, I just want you to know it's going to end up being filed likely as a third-degree felony,
Yes,
okay?
sir.
Your bond amount is set at $15,000. You are not going to get a personal bond. You need to go through a bail bondsman or a lawyer to get out. If you do postpone and get out of jail, Mr. Ramirez, you are required to report to a supervision officer while your case is pending. So if you get out, you'll have a piece of paper with the name and number of a person that you need to contact within 24 hours of your release. You need to report in whenever they require. That is in addition to any reporting requirements you may have with a bail bond company. Do you understand that?
Sir.
Do you want a court-appointed attorney or do you want to hire your own lawyer?
I'll get it for him.
Do you have any questions?
Say what? No, sir.
No? All right. Good luck. Maurice Bonner. Mr. Bonner, you're charged with a Class A misdemeanor assault causing bodily injury to a family or household member. Your bond amount set at $3,000. However, I am going to give you a personal bond. You're going to be released today for free based on your promise to come to court. You do have one condition you need to comply with, Mr. Bonner, and that is you're required to be screened for drug counseling. When you get out of jail, you're going to have a piece of paper telling you where to go to do that screening. You need to go to whatever classes they recommend. You understand that? Do you want a court-appointed attorney or do you want to hire your own lawyer? Court-appointed. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, good luck. Edward Chavez. Mr. Chavez, you're charged with a Class A misdemeanor assault causing bodily injury to a family member. Bond amount's $1,000. We have not been able to get a hold of the alleged victim in your case. We've left messages for, waiting to hear back. On domestic violence cases, generally, in order for you to get a personal bond, we want to make sure we can get a hold of the alleged victim because we need to get some questions answered, make sure there's no danger to anybody if you're released from jail. I haven't heard back from them yet. We'll continue to call them. Once we hear back from them, it's possible that you would get a personal bond based upon what I've read so far. Okay. Your bond is low. It's $1,000 based on the particular allegations involved. It's up to you. You could wait and see if you can get a personal bond. You could also just try to make arrangements and bond out now. If someone actually comes down with the full 1,000, you'll be released and you'll get your money back at the end of the case as long as you show up for court. If you go through a bail bond company, they might charge you. Usually they charge around 10%, but they may not charge only $100. They may have a minimum of like $150 or $200. It's up to you to find the cheapest bondsman you can find. Okay.
I have a question.
Do you want a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
So regardless, in order to be released to have to, you have to contact my wife.
On a personal bond? It's only with regard to the personal bond. When I'm considering releasing you for free, on domestic violence cases, I want to hear back from the alleged victim. In some instances, we just want to make sure we get some questions answered, just to make sure all the bond conditions that are in place need to be there. We don't know everybody the way the persons at the home know, So we want to get feedback from the alleged victim on the case.
Okay.
All right. Yes, sir.
I have a question. Do I gotta pay the full 15,000?
No, you can go through a bail bondsman or a lawyer. Bail bondsman, if they're willing to do it for 10%, be around 1,500. You can also go through an attorney.
Thank you.
All right, no problem.
It was one charge on mine?
On your case, it's just one charge at this point. They haven't filed the assault. I don't know if that may be forthcoming or not. It's
No.
possible that they're not going to file an assault. Right now, you're just being charged with the tampering charge. Does that answer your question?
I have a question. When I'm released on the paperwork, will it have like the day that I come to court, or I'm gonna have to call? And
No, if it's a Travis County case, when you get out of jail, you'll have your first court date written on your paperwork. It'll tell you when and where you need to be. And when you go to that court date, they'll tell you when and where your next court date is.
thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I can't hear. You want to give them the mic?
Talk to us about that. I might not, I didn't, it's might not, the actual number might not, be at the time you get up there, try again. Okay. If they don't have to go to that.
All right. Duante Anthony Brown. Mr. Brown, you're charged with a third-degree felony assault causing bodily injury to a family or a household member by strangulation. Your bond amount is set at $7,500. You're not going to get a personal bond. The law does not allow that on a felony domestic violence case. You're going to need to go through a bail bondsman or a lawyer. Bail bondsman, if they're willing to do it for 10%, would be around $750. Got a couple of questions for you. What family do you have that live here in Austin, Mr. Brown?
My mother, my aunties. Did you talk to the victim on the case?
Yeah, we've already talked to her.
She doesn't want me nowhere.
What's that?
She didn't want me going, like she said, because she called and said she dropped the charges.
Yeah. On domestic violence cases, it's not ultimately up to the alleged victim. It's up to the prosecutor's office. There are times where the prosecutor is going to pursue the case, whether or not the victim wants it pursued or not. Now, that doesn't mean that the prosecutor will not take the victim's input into consideration in how the case is resolved. But at this stage, the case is still being filed, okay? But when you go to court, the prosecutor will probably contact the alleged victim, see what their thoughts are about things, and take that into consideration, okay? Now, you said you have your mom lives here and your aunt, right?
My aunt, yeah.
Okay. I know your mom lives over on McKinney Falls Parkway.
Right.
Where's your aunt live?
My aunt lives in Colton Bluff Springs, 6400.
Dove Springs?
Sir.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is, can you, an emergency protective order is going to be issued in this case for a month. Do you have another place you can go?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have an emergency protective order being issued in this case, Mr. Brown. This is for the protection of Kayla, prohibits you from doing 4 things. First of all, you're prohibited from committing family violence against her, which is already illegal. Second of all, you're prohibited from communicating with her or members of her household or family in a threatening or harassing manner. So if you have any contact with her, you just need to be careful how you communicate with her. You understand that? Thirdly, you are prohibited from going within 200 yards of 6625 McKinney Falls Parkway, Unit 9301 in Austin, Texas. You cannot go within 200 yards of that address. You understand that? My understanding is that your mom lives like across the street, which would, being there would be a violation of the protective order if it's within 200 yards. And that's why I'm asking you if you got another place to stay.
Yeah.
If you have any personal belongings there, or if you have personal belongings at your mom's place that you need to have someone else go there, get your stuff for you and bring it to you. Cannot go within 200 yards of that address. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Lastly, you're prohibited from carrying a firearm or ammunition. This protective order is going to last for a month until March 8th. You're going to get a copy of it. Make sure you read it and comply with it, because if you violate it, it is punishable by up to a year in jail. Okay. Do you have a question? Go ahead.
Why wasn't I eligible for a PR bond?
So felony domestic violence cases are prohibited from getting personal bonds by law. Okay, there are certain types of cases that the law does not allow a personal bond for. Usually it's your felony violent offenses, domestic violence, aggravated robbery, sexual assault, things like that. And so because this is a felony domestic violence, this is a felony because the allegation involves strangulation, not just an injury. And if it involves strangulation and it's a felony, you're not eligible for a personal bond. I looked at your financial situation. I took that into consideration in setting a bond amount, but you are going to have to go through a bail bond company or talk to an attorney about trying to.
10% is $750, right?
Say what?
10% of my bond case is $750.
10% is $750 if you can get a bondsman to do it for $750. Make sure you stay away from that address and abide by the protective order, okay? You're not prohibited from talking to her over the phone, or you actually can see her at some other location if you want, but you cannot go within 200 yards of that address for the next month, okay?
I can get a lawyer to PR bond me, right?
No. A lawyer may be able to do something else, some other type of a bond, or try to get a bond reduction, but your lawyer would not be able to get a personal bond. But your lawyer does have some options at their disposal that you could talk to them about. So talk to your lawyer about that. Did you want a court-appointed lawyer, or are you going to hire your own?
I'll take a corner for it.
Speak it up.
Appointed.
Okay. All right. Good luck. Joshua Bernal. Mr. Bernal, you're charged with a second-degree felony indecency with a child. Your bond amount's $10,000. You're not going to get a personal bond. If you do post bond and get out of jail, you're not allowed to have any contact with any alleged victim in this case. Do you understand that? Do you want a court-appointed attorney, or do you want to hire your own lawyer? Court appointed?
You want to hire someone, lawyer?
All right. Do you have the money to hire a lawyer? Do you have any questions? Mr. Bernal, do you have a place to live? Yeah, can you get the mic?
I live all the way outside, so I already don't know if I'm gonna need a lawyer or an attorney in the first place because I'm just waiting to see if someone's gonna bail me out, and I don't think I need a bailout because it's just.
You don't think you need to bail out because why?
Can you repeat the question?
Do you have a place to live?
Oh, yes, I do.
Who do you live with?
I just live outside because I don't have nobody to give me an appointed attorney right now.
You live outside.
Yeah.
So like, you're on the streets?
Yeah, I'm just walking on the streets and I'm tired, so I just.
Do you have family that live here in Austin, Mr. Bernal?
Not in Austin.
Where's your family?
They just live in
Speak up.
all the way in Travis.
Where?
I have family living all the way in the state of Texas, so just waiting to see if I can get my
Are
house.
you working right now?
Nope. Not working.
Right. My assumption from looking at your file was that you were unhoused and didn't have any money and didn't have any people, and I took that all into consideration setting a bond. Normally, your bond would be a bit higher on a case of this nature, but I took into consideration your financial situation. I just want to clarify that, and it sounds like my assessment of your financial situation is accurate.
I don't have a child of indecency. That's all. That's the only thing that's just not that very accurate. I don't have child.
Talk to your lawyer about your side of the story on the charge.
Saying you're the judge, the better judge, so my lawyer and bond doesn't work right now because I just don't have child of indecency, right?
All right.
I don't have a son, or I don't really have nothing.
This has nothing to do with your children. Has to do with this has to do with a teenager on the, it has to do with a teenager on the street.
How old is the teenager?
Under 17.
17.
Talk to your lawyer about it. You'll get a copy of the police report.
I'm like 19.
I'm aware of that.
Most of the time I'm like 21, 30. I'm already done with 17.
You're 19.
No,
You were
I'm
born in
above
1992. You're 31 years old at least, maybe 32.
1992 is 31 years old. Yeah, that's correct. I am 31 years old. I'm just not. I'm not with a child under 17 or anybody under 17, and this case should just be thrown out of court because this is Austin.
Well, you could talk to your lawyer about it. I'm not going to get into the facts of the case here. Make sure you show up for all your court dates.